Hi, I'm here on the big island of Hawaii, and I want to share with you a story. A story that brought me to balance. The story that brought me to being centered. And really a story that brought me to being completely okay with life. And it's amazing. Even though all of us at every moment are on our spiritual path, regardless of where we are, it's perfect for all of us, each of us, wherever we're at. And when we let go of trying to push it, rush it, create it, and simply allow it, that's when we come into our truth, our knowing, our honoring, accepting, loving, embracing, whatever else it may be. I was raised in Scientology. I was kicked out twice, and I'm pretty glad that I was kicked out. But I'm also glad that I was a part of it because of some of the principles that I did get from it. And some of those are very valuable tools that have been tweaked a little bit to be more beneficial for my own path. I also called myself a Christian for a while, and I'm very glad I experienced that as well, for the same reasons, but in obviously a different way. And then I heard of the law of attraction, and I got very excited about it, about create your own reality. And at the time I hated reality. So creating my own reality and living the life of my dreams seemed absolutely amazing. And part of it was think positive, feel positive, and positive will happen. So I did everything I could to think positive and everything I thought I could do to feel positive. And eventually I started to realize that I was avoiding and neglecting, and most importantly, I wasn't being authentic with what the thoughts and the feelings I was experiencing actually was. And I was seeking and seeking and seeking and seeking that truth, seeking that answer, seeking liberation and enlightenment. And a lot of people are still seeking. And there's nothing wrong with that because that's part of the path too. It's part of the journey and part of the excitement. I'm very glad that I spent the amount of time that I did seeking. It was exciting and it was a lot of fun. And then I stopped seeking. And I stopped trying to create anything. I stopped intending. Stopped trying to manifest. I stopped trying to feel one way or another. I stopped trying to think one way or another. I got really honest with myself because I don't know where my feelings come from. And I let go of individual feelings and I just let it become feeling. And since I didn't really know where my thoughts come from, and feelings and thoughts people can associate with coming from the mind or the heart, or source, or God, or this, or life, or consciousness, or the mind, or whatever it be. Or the void at the most absolute center that people would like to refer to. But since we actually don't know how that works in the finite mind, the heart knows it. The heart is it. Love is it. But even that, even using words, all of these words are simply concepts. And I want to make it very clear that I don't want anyone to try and identify or take anything I say as truth. It might be my truth at this moment, but the second the word comes out of my mouth, I let it go. I finally realized and know and live in that truth is now, whatever that truth may be, in each moment. And part of the journey for me part of the journey that I've gotten to witness with everyone, especially with the work that I do as a life coach or a self-empowerment coach or self-realization coach, or really one of my favorite titles, if I was going to use a title to describe or explain what I do, or what is done through me, is even better said. It's not me doing this, it is happening. But my second best friend gave me the nickname the Cosmic Trigger Master. And I laughed, and I'm like, wow, that's actually like pretty accurate to what I do. And it's triggering authentically, because it's not me thinking about doing it. I don't think about any words that come out of this mouth. They happen. I'm just as much the observer of what I would call my life as any of you are. And that makes it really exciting for me. And any time that we're triggered, it simply shows us somewhere or something that is yet to be let go, and that we're still holding on to. And it could be from a past experience, feeling, or thought. In a lot of ways it is. And that's okay too. But for me, and in the past, in a lot of ways, and many are still doing it, and it's fun. But if all of a sudden you get a feeling of being anxious, depressed, worried, whatever it may be, especially a lot of people want to be able to associate that thought or feeling with an experience. It almost seems logical. Almost. Oh my God, I'm feeling this way and thinking this way because this happened to me whenever it was, whatever the experience was. And Matt Kahn, I was listening to one of his audios, and he brought up something having to do with blame. And it became really clear to me. And so in my own way, I took that as a belief that he shared, that I also felt was a valuable belief that led me to a truth that I've also let go of, because I know this too shall pass and nothing stays the same, that truth is always changing. But really for me, what it was is when I stopped removing identification to thoughts, feelings, experiences, past and future. And even though all of this is happening all at once, and there is only the one eternal infinite now, thoughts are thoughts, feelings are feelings, experiences are experiences, the past is a memory, and the future is yet untold. We can be depressed about the past, we can be anxious about the future, but I let go of putting association between any thought, feeling, experience, past or future. And I started letting thoughts be thoughts. And then I let that go, and I just let it be thought, or a stream of thought, or thinking. And I let go of feelings being feelings, and I just let it be feeling. I don't even prefer. Got a helicopter going by. Hi, helicopter. Probably on their way to Maui or something, which is that way. But yeah, when I remove the identification or the association of a thought and a feeling, or a feeling and an experience, or a feeling and the past experience, and I just simply let them be feeling and thoughts, the past and the future, individual and individualized within themselves, it made it really easy to honor it, even more so to experience it, to allow myself to sit in it. Earlier today, the majority of the day, to use a word to explain that most people will be able to associate with, I was very, very, very aggravated the majority of the day. And it wobbled a little bit. And now I'm not feeling anything at all. And all of a sudden, the feeling shifted to no feeling. And I'm like, you know what? It's time to do a video and share this with you. Which I had been getting the uploads for this video for a while. A few days. And so when we allow the thoughts to be thought, and we allow the feelings to be feeling, and we, the goat is coming to say, hi, goat. This is the goat I call Mama Goat. And here, relatively, probably when I'm done with this video, it will be time to milk her. That's one of my playful responsibilities I get to do here. But yeah, when I let feeling be feeling, thought be thought, experience be experience, without matching, blaming, or judging an experience for a feeling, or blaming or judging a experience for the thought that was associated with it, and allowed myself to sit in it for as long as it needed to. There's times where it'd show up and it'd be like, wow, thank you, oh my God, and then it'd disappear so fast that I playfully would be like, oh, come on, adversity, you just showed up, I got all excited, and now you left. What the hell? That's bullshit. Come back here. But in that moment of embrace and acknowledgement, that's all it wants. That's what everything wants, including myself. I'm not going to speak for you, but I'm pretty sure. You simply want to be acknowledged. We've heard of the terrible twos growing up. And for those who know and understand and see and experience the awareness of oneness, unity, no separation, one mind, one heart, one consciousness, one this, one happening. It's pretty much at around the age of 2 that after hearing the name that our parents gave us, that repetition, all of a sudden we went, oh, I am. So my name is Infinity. It's not the name I was born with. It's the name that this, I like to refer to God or source or consciousness or the universe or whatever simply as this. Because it removes all meaning, all identification, and really just allows me to experience this without an association. Just embodying it and being it. So this gave me the name Infinity Ra-El. So to go back to the example and analogy I was talking about, oh, I am infinity. And at the moment we consciously went, oh, I am, we started experiencing separation. And what an experience that is, to go from being this as a singular to this as an identified perspective of it, and experience separation. So at that age of 1.5 to 3 is most common, would be terrifying. And at that point, you're trying to stake your name, give meaning to life, figure out what's going on. Why? And there's really 3 answers to why. Because, or because, why not? I don't know. Why was I aggravated all day today, pretty much? Not a clue. Don't care either. And I actually had a lot of fun with it. As we allow ourselves to simply be authentic with that feeling, no longer trying to deny the thoughts, no longer trying to avoid the feelings. And there's 2 sides of this as well. If it's so intense, the feeling and the thoughts, that it's literally driving you nuts, that you need a break from it, that's okay too. Tell yourself, I can do this later. This life, please help me out. I can't do this myself. I could really use a break at the moment. And if at that moment, taking a nap, or drinking a beer, or going for a walk, on the surface may seem like avoiding it, it's not really. You don't have to rush this. Life has no expectations of you. It's only us that develops expectations for ourselves. And that's really just based off of beliefs of others and how we felt disapproved of. And it goes generation to generation. But really one of the most important things is, once as we started to experience that separation at such a young age, and the belief structures that our family, friends, mainly parents, mommy and daddy issues, that's really like the key of it and the core of it. Our parents want for us what they wanted for themselves but didn't achieve for whatever it may be. And obviously there's a lot of other ways that this could be looked at as well. But really, most importantly, when we weren't heard and we weren't acknowledged for our authenticity, most often that's not the authenticity or the beliefs of another. Remember, we're all one, but it's infinite perspectives of the one. So no two paths are the same. And so often, especially our parents, which is fine because they went through the same thing, have these expectations of what they feel our life and think our life should be. But it's not going to be that, because it's our path and it's our journey, individually as a whole. I'm sure many people can relate with not being heard, or growing up, not being heard. Even more so, being made wrong for their authenticity. I know I was. I would do something that was purely and truly my highest joy, my purest authenticity. And I would get in trouble for it. So I started lying. I got to the point where I would lie about anything and everything to anyone, because that allowed me to remain in my authenticity. Because I knew it was true for me. Just so many other people had so many fucking problems with it that I shut down and became inauthentic. And I started believing other people. And I started taking on other people's shit and other people's beliefs, like we all do. And that's okay, because again, it's part of the game. So I want you to know I hear you, and I see you, and I honor your experience, and I honor where you're at. I honor your pain. I even embrace your pain, all of it, your adversity. Another thing that happened is I really got to the place of allowing life to devastate me. Like my friend called me a cosmic trigger master. Well, good, life trigger me. Trigger me in every single way that you can. Devastate me, destroy me, rip me to pieces, burn me to ashes. Because when finally everything was burnt away, I rose. Like the phoenix. So many of us have heard that analogy. The phoenix is one of the only animals, if not the only one, at least that I'm aware of, that can literally burn itself and be reborn from the ashes. How powerful is that? And that's part of the healing journey, is to allow everything to completely devastate you and burn you. Because at that point, when it's all burnt away and it's all devastated, you're reborn. You also have to let go of all belief structures. Anything that anyone has ever told you, regardless of how relevant it was at the time. Remember, this too shall pass. And truth is always changing in the now. Truth is the now, and the now is always changing. So as we allow ourselves, through acknowledgement, love, acceptance, appreciation, embrace, for all of our belief structures to fall away, we come into our own truth. And there's 4 aspects of life: physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual. Right now, obviously, I'm aware of this physical. But I'm also aware of the mental, emotional, spiritual. But I'm aware of them all at the same time. And the better that we take care of this temple, the body is the temple of the Most High God. or the Most High this. Taking care of the body is absolutely crucial. Relaxation, stillness. 2 quotes: be like water, which is to flow like water. And a lot of people feel like they need to be getting something done because of expectations that have been put upon themselves, really just simply by the beliefs of others that they've taken on, because you actually have no expectations of yourself at your core. The intention was made before you got into this body, or came into this body, or came from this body, however you want to look at it. What would it take you to trust? There it is. Thank you. What would it take for you to trust that life is already taken care of? Your participation is required. But honestly, no one's ever known how life was going to work out. You may get insights, prophetic visions, stuff like that, but it's never 100% exactly the way you think, see, feel, sense. It's going to happen. Because at that point, it's already been experienced, and no 2 experiences are the same. So as I allowed myself to become authentic with the feelings, authentic with the thoughts, not trying to resist them, not trying to avoid them, I started saying thank you. And this is part of the process at the same time. I started saying thank you to everything. Thank you for the mom who abandoned me for her church. Thank you for the dad who said he would be better off without me. Thank you for the times that I was raped. Thank you for the time that I still experience the manifestation of having one leg due to hitting a guardrail on a motorcycle at over 100 miles an hour. Thank you to the time that I wrecked again into a tree and had a colostomy bag for a year and a half, and that year and a half I went through 8 drug overdoses. Thank you for the times that I was homeless. Thank you for the times I was houseless. Thank you for the times I was in absolute despair, in complete fear of how life was going to work out, yet here I am. And I started saying thank you to literally everything. It is my mantra. It's probably my only mantra. 2 mantras. Thank you. I call upon the light. For whatever it is. I call upon the light to assist this body in eating this food. I call upon the light to guide me through this day. I call upon the light to assist me with the healing. I call upon the light that these words may truly touch you. I call upon the light so that you may see your own. I call upon the light so I may always be in the light, within myself, within the truth. Like the clouds that are floating over the ocean, reflecting their image but not imprinting it. Part of mastery of be like water is to flow like water. Is so many people are in a rush because of expectation to get something done that when we slow down and allow ourselves to move with the current and the momentum of life, I'm sure at least a good majority of people who will watch this have seen a river flow. And if you haven't, please do so. Because a river will have rapids, it'll have waterfalls, it'll have places in it that it looks like it's hardly even moving. It'll have whirlpools. And in those places of the river where it looks like it's hardly moving, yet you know there's a waterfall downstream because you hiked up the hill, but in that place where it looks like nothing is happening, that is where we still, ground, center, observe, breathe, relax. Because as we do that, as life at that moment is being still, if we're out going, oh my God, I should be doing something. What's going on? Holy shit. We distract ourselves from what's coming. A master will flow through a rapid with zero effort because it moves with the momentum. And if you see the waterfall approaching and you feel and listen to what your heart and mind are communicating, you can gently drift in the direction that's going to be the path of least resistance down the waterfall. That's what everyone wants. No one wants to struggle. No one really wants to put a whole lot of effort into anything. When you're really honest with yourself, you like watching it happen. So as I became authentic with life, yesterday, something shifted in me again. And today was very strong. And I am calmer, more centered, more balanced than I've ever witnessed. This body is completely relaxed right now. Alright, we'll call it 99.99%. A little blip. But as I was saying thank you to the thoughts, I still had a little bit of, that little bit of belief of, if I'm feeling or thinking negative, that might manifest. Well, if our thoughts and our feelings really, really, really manifested the way that the law of attraction, simply the law of attraction teaches, pretty much every little kid would be eaten by monsters in the closet. So, kind of let that one go. And I know that the most important thing that anyone can do is be authentic with the feelings and the thoughts. And not hold it in. Nothing is trying to get anyone, everything is trying to get out. And it is our free will to keep it in. It is our free will to choose any experience that isn't of the highest joy. It'll serve a lesson because everything is here to serve you. Everything is for you because everything is for you. Everything is here for you. Everything is you. So as I know, I haven't cried a tear in over a year, and for a while it bothered me. At first I held them back, saying, no, don't cry. You might manifest some shit. Big boys don't cry. You don't need to cry about that. Oh, that pressure behind your eyes will go away. Oh, that stabbing feeling in your heart. Oh, maybe that knife will just go away. And so I stopped doing that. I let the tears come. And when they come, when a dam gives way, holy shit! It was a fucking tsunami of emotions. And I allowed myself to scream and yell and hate and be in pain and devastated and yell and express how I really felt, even though at the time is associated with an experience. I let myself go there because there was the fire, and right on the other side of that fire is the freedom, the bliss, the joy, the effortless creation that I experience now. If it doesn't feel right, I don't do it because it's not me doing it. Let go, let God. What do you think that means? Get out of your own way. Same thing. I as identification. I as separation. Remember, once as you say, I am anything, you're identifying to it. But I do understand, honor, and acknowledge that it is part of the journey. I am powerful. I am abundant. I am love. I am ease. I am God. I am this. And then we let that go too. Because eventually, you'll let everything go. To be reborn, you must die. And that doesn't mean physically. Don't wait for heaven after life. Live heaven on earth. And as I feel like this is coming to a wrap up soon, After saying thank you, or including with saying thank you to the thoughts and the feelings, I really allowed the authenticity of action to be made manifest through this body. If I felt like yelling and screaming, I did. If I didn't want to give someone a hug, I didn't. If I wanted to tell someone to fuck off, I did so, regardless of how they perceived it or took it. Because I know that honestly doesn't matter. And I know I've said so many times, it's not how life treats you, it's how you treat life. And I still agree with that. And at the same time, if we live outside of our authenticity, and another way of saying that is if we hold back what is within trying to be expressed, we are disservice to not only ourselves, but to life. Remember, triggering someone is one of the highest services, as it allows them to become aware of where they haven't washed something away. So if anything that I've said or that has been said through this in this video has triggered you, that's amazing. Anytime you feel a tightness, your body tightens up, whatever it may be, to any experience that life presents to you. Oh wow, I'm being triggered. Oh my God, this sucks. Oh my God, I hate my life right now. Instead of trying to avoid it, like a lot of people I've met on the spiritual journey try and do. Oh man, if I have that thought, I'm going to manifest something terrible. How do you know? How do you know that your thoughts actually have anything to do with manifestation? Life keeps on happening whether you try and do anything or not. Life will continue to happen whether you intend anything or not. And really, have I received a knowing that you can ultimately create your own reality in any way that you see? Yeah. When you finally become empty. Right here is the big ocean, Pacific Ocean. And one of the analogies that I like to use is not one wave in the history of the ocean has ever looked back from where it was coming from, and two, never asked the ocean why it's going that way. If it hits a rock and changes its form, or what people could call adversity, it comes together after being split apart to be embodied in a new perspective of